Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Stranger in Tehran. I'm Katya and today I want to talk to you about getting married to an Iranian. I've been married to an Iranian for 13 years and I have quite a lot to share with you. But before we talk about it, I want to say a couple of words about my channel. I teach Persian, so here on this channel you can find a few videos with tips and tricks about learning Persian. I'm trying to share different resources that you can use for improving your Persian or even starting from scratch. Also, I have been sharing my daily life in Tehran and my travels around Iran, including the dream road trip that we took from Tehran to the Persian Gulf last year. So make sure to subscribe and take a look at the videos that I have already on my channel. So a while ago, my husband and I participated in one of my favorite Persian language podcasts about marrying a non-Iranian. The whole idea of the podcast is to speak about the borders that are created between people inside the society and to speak about the difficulties that people of different categories experience and maybe some stereotypes and judgments that they get from the society. We had quite a long talk with the host, but I must say that mostly the difficulties and other negative points made it to the final cut of the episode. This is why I decided to make my own video on this topic so that I can share the full experience with you and to share not only the difficulties and differences between people and between Russians in my case and Iranians, but also to speak about positive things that I got from marrying an Iranian. So let's get started. Before shooting this video, I asked my followers on Instagram to ask me questions about marrying an Iranian. By the way, make sure to follow me on Instagram as well. I will leave the link in the caption. Before I start talking about marrying an Iranian, I would like to answer some of the questions about the whole picture and my whole situation regarding this topic. So one of the questions was, how long have you been living in Iran? Well, why did you decide to stay in Iran, and what did happen that you accept to live in Iran? Well, I've been living in Iran since I got married, and that's why I've been living in Iran for over 13 years. And I would really love to speak about how I found myself in Iran and how we moved to Iran in a separate video. Because there is a lot to talk about. So I just want to give you a sneak peek on the story and how we moved to Iran. I suppose it was me who actually initiated the move to Iran and who was more encouraging and enthusiastic about moving to Iran. So yeah, now you will have to wait for another video to complete this story. Now it's time to finally speak about marrying an Iranian. The most important thing that I want to point out right here at the beginning of the video is that when you're marrying an Iranian, you are actually marrying a person. And this is very important. Yeah, of course, we come from different countries, from different nationalities. We have, like, all of us have different background, but all of us are humans. And that's why all of us have all the same basic traits of character and characteristics. Like, some of us are extroverts, some of us are introverts, others are somewhere in between. If you are marrying an Iranian, you are marrying a person, you are marrying a number of different attitudes, personal characteristics, and interests and abilities. Of course, the background of the person is important, but in the end, this is about the person itself and the character of this person rather than about his background. It is more important to evaluate the traits of character of the person, whether they are suitable for you, whether you can live with these set of personal characteristics rather than connected to the nationality, because even in our own cultures and countries, there are all kinds of people. There are responsible people, there are irresponsible people, there are people who value family, there are people who don't really care about family or maybe don't even have a family. So there are people who are interested in books and movies and staying at home, and those who like to go out a lot. So these things that you will address and you will see on a daily basis rather than the cultural and background differences. I suppose that those are much more important, and in many cases they are not related to the culture the person comes from at all. So the first thing I want to start with is talking about the legal side of marrying an Iranian. I received a question how you manage to make sure that you have permanent travel authorization. Well, actually by marrying an Iranian, a Muslim Iranian, you obtain Iranian citizenship right away. And there are two ways how you can get married legally. One is when you get married inside Iran, and for that you will need to provide lots of documents, and it may take quite a time. For some people that I know, it took a few months and sometimes even a year to get married and to get their certificate and their Iranian documents. But there is another way which seems to be a quicker one, which I used as well, is getting married in your own country and then legalizing your documents, your marriage certificate at the Iranian embassy. This way it took me like about a couple of weeks to get my Iranian documents. It made the whole process much easier. So there are two important things that I would like to talk about. The first one is conversion to Islam, and if you are going to marry a Muslim Iranian, then you must convert to Islam. But actually what the government needs from you is the confirmation, the certificate that was certified that you have converted to Islam. How you get this paper, this certificate is not important. When you convert to Islam, it doesn't mean that you need to cover right away or follow any religious rules right away. Actually, nobody expects you to convert at your heart as well. Other thing is the Iranian marriage certificate or contract. Actually, I even had a question about that, whether I got equal rights on my marriage contract. As you can see from the answer, the rights of the wife and the husband are not equal on the Iranian marriage certificate, and that is why I would recommend you to at least read the marriage contract before you sign it, before actually getting married. If you want to add something to it, some conditions to it that feel important to you, like for example being able to apply for divorce, or whether it's keeping kids after divorce, or whether it's being able to travel without the permit of your husband, then make sure to add them, to discuss them, negotiate them with your partner, and then add them to the marriage contract. So I don't want to make you think about your divorce right away or any even chance of a divorce, but it's always better to think ahead and to add whatever you feel is important to you. I just wanted to mention that I am not a specialist in legal issues, and that is why I'm just sharing my personal experience and also the experience of my friends and people that I know. If you want to have more detailed information on this topic, it's better to consult a legal specialist. I already touched upon the topic of religion. Whether you need to follow any religious prescriptions depends only on yourself, on your husband, and of course on your husband's family. The most common scenario that I have seen among my friends is that husband usually doesn't care what you do, what you believe in. But sometimes in some families I have seen that women are supposed to cover when relatives visit their house, or when they visit their relatives, or sometimes when they even go out. The worst case scenario is that you will need to follow, like your husband would expect you to follow all the religious rules, but I have never seen anyone like that, any family like that, so I don't think that's even a case. My husband, although he seems quite religious to me, I mean, he follows most of the religious prescriptions, but he doesn't expect me to believe in anything and to do anything. The only thing that some of my husband's relatives who are more religious, when they visit the house of my husband's family or when we go visit them, I'm asked to cover myself, to wear a shawl, but that's, I suppose, is just the case of showing respect to people for whom these things are important. That's it. As you can see, it's important to know what your husband's family is like, and I'm sure you will figure it out when you meet them, even before getting married, and you will see for yourself what are the boundaries and what are the rules that the family is following, and whether you may need to cover up or whether you may need to participate in any religious ceremonies or not. So I'm sure if you meet his family before you get married, you will be aware of that beforehand. As you can see, we now come to the topic of family and the importance of family in the life of an Iranian, and especially a man. Because for an Iranian man, his family, and especially his mother, is of tremendous importance. When you are marrying an Iranian, you are actually marrying his family. If you decide to live in Iran and to live somewhere close to your husband's family, then the chances are that your husband's family will participate in your family life and making your family decisions, and will influence somehow the opinion of your husband. If your husband's family is going to be somewhere far away, maybe the influence will be less. You need to be prepared for it and respect it, and maybe set the boundaries with your husband right away, like how much of participation in your family life you need or you can tolerate. Another reason why it's super important to meet your husband, to meet his family, is to see what example of a family he had, what are the roles of the wife and husband and his own family. Because we learn about our role in the family from our parents' example, and probably the man will follow the same pattern in his own family when he gets into a relationship. So Iran is very diverse, and there are all types of families in Iran. Like, there are more traditional families, which I think is more common when the husband goes to work and provides for the family, and the woman stays at home and takes care of their children, make all decisions related to the house and their family in general, and their kids, of course. And there are more modern, more liberal families where the woman works as well, and where the husband and the wife share the household chores. And that is why I believe that because a traditional family is more common in Iran, that is why Iranian men have the tendency to take up a traditional role of a husband, just because they don't know how a partnership works and how to create a family where two partners will be absolutely equal and take up all the responsibilities that come with the family equally. Just because most of Iranians haven't seen any example of a family like that. It may not be that rare among the younger generation who are just starting their families, but it is definitely common among their parents. In Iran, if you're okay with staying at home, that's perfectly fine, and nobody expects you to go to work or even have children or do the housework. You always can get help, and that's okay. But if you prefer to go to work to focus on your career and you prefer not to have kids yet, then that may be a problem in Iran. Even if your partner may be fine with that, his family or relatives may not. And even if they are, even if they don't have any say in it, still you may receive lots of questions like, when are you finally going to have a kid? When are you finally going to quit your job? Why is your work schedule so busy? Or why do you have to go on work trips and stuff like that? In Iran, I would say that among older generation, the traditional family and roles in the family are more preferable, and that's why you may be asked a lot of extra questions that you don't want to hear. I feel like the video is getting too long, and I think that would be better to break this video into parts. So make sure to check out part 2 when it comes out. Make sure to subscribe to my channel to get updates on part 2 of this video. And in that video, I will be talking about cultural differences and how to overcome them. And by the way, if you have any questions about this topic that I haven't covered yet, you are most welcome to ask your questions in comments to this video, and I will answer them in the next video. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.